announcing the Orlando United Assistance Center. We are airing live on Orange TV and re-airing at a later date. Members of the media, you will hear today from Mayor Dyer, Mayor Jacobs, excuse me, Tara Hughes with the American Red Cross, Donna Weich, Orange County Mental Health, and Luis Martinez. I'm going to turn it over right now to Mayor Dyer.
Thank you and good morning, and thank you for coming out again this morning. To those impacted by the tragedy, we want you to know that we are still here and we will continue to be here to help you. Today, the City of Orlando joins with Orange County to open the Orlando United Assistance Center. And the center is part of our long-term commitment to assist anyone that was affected by the tragedy. As we continue to recover, we are transitioning out of the immediate response phase of the tragedy, and with the opening of the Orlando United Assistance Center, we're focused on the long-term recovery needs of victims or families and everybody that was impacted by this tragedy. The Assistance Center will serve as the next phase for our Family Assistance Center, which, just a few facts about that, in the course of 8 days of operation at Camping World Stadium, the 35 agencies, along with the FBI, City of Orlando, and Orange County, were able to assist 956 individuals, which represented 298 families that visited for assistance. And we quickly realized that the Assistance Center was absolutely a critical connection between the victims and the important services that they need to recover. Many people arrived thinking they only needed one or two services. There was a family that arrived thinking that they were just coming to figure out funeral arrangements and burial services. They ended up accessing 27 different agencies for help. And through our new Orlando United Assistance Center, the navigators that will be here will continue to provide those connections to services. This center will be inclusive, it will be supportive. All of the services are confidential. We have culturally experienced representatives from the Hispanic and the LGBTQ communities. They will be available here every day. Mayor Jacobs, I want to thank you for your partnership, your leadership. The transformation of this building in a little over 24 hours is simply amazing. I want to thank Orange County government, City of Orlando staff, and the team from Disney. This is going to be a comfortable place. It's a place that families will be able to transition, and there are a lot of people that work tirelessly all during the night to make sure that we could get this center open. So together we will remain Orlando United, and we will continue to support those in need as long as they have needs. Mayor Jacobs.
Thank you, Mayor Dyer. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We're so happy to be able to share in opening this facility as hopefully the needs and the numbers decrease over time. We think this is just perfectly situated. It's in close proximity. It is a warm, welcoming environment. I cannot say, Mayor Dyer pointed out the enormous effort that went in to reconditioning this facility to make it appropriate for the families that are going to be visiting us. I can't say enough about our Orange County facilities team that worked around the clock. AT&T, what an incredible job they did of making sure that we are technologically able to operate full steam. And of course, Walt Disney World. You want to talk about bringing magic to this building. We thank so much Walt Disney World and what they have done. We have a whole family room. I hope you have an opportunity to take a tour, but we have a family room here where the kids can color, they can read notes written from cast members at Walt Disney World. Very, very uplifting, warming, comforting environment, which is what they need. For those who were at Pulse nightclub, including so many who responded, providing emergency services, we could not be more grateful in this community for their heroic efforts. But we know that there's a lot of healing still to be done. Proud as we can be of how strong our community is and how united our community has been. But we don't want to, for 1 minute, forget or ignore those who are still struggling, those who are dealing with PSTD, those who need a place away from home to come and get the support and the services that they will need to carry on their lives, and that's what this is designed for. So Mayor Dyer, thank you for your efforts, your role in this, and the city, the county, and all of our support facilities. We're united, we're Orlando, we're strong, we're proud, we're together, and we're healing. And now let me introduce Tara Hughes with the Red Cross to say a few words about the services Red Cross has to offer. And thank you and Red Cross for all you've done already and will continue to do for our community as we heal.
Good morning. First, I would like to say that the American Red Cross has been honored and privileged to be allowed into this community to assist with this response. We come with experience. I myself have done this same thing in Newtown and in Boston after the bombings. And so we bring experience, and we were allowed to come into this community and assist and help to advise what's happening here. That started with the amazing work at the Family Assistance Center. Incredible that number of people, number of organizations came in to assist, and we would really like to applaud that. As we transition into a new building, the need for this is because your community is transitioning. What happens in these events is it starts out as a crisis, and we have all lived that crisis for the last week and a half. We're now transitioning to where this community and individuals are attempting to find what is new in their normal. It's a new routine, it's a new normal, but it has to get back to normal. And that's really what this center is all about. It's helping individuals and your community at large get back to normal. In thinking about that, your community and many people who have assisted with this are still having symptoms. They're still experiencing things like an inability to be able to sleep, possibly nightmares. They may be feeling a little bit more agitated with people that they care about. They may have, bark at people every once in a while. All of that is really predictable, and it is all things that we see in these events as they unfold in other cities as well. What we know is that if you can give yourself time, that time allows you to create that new normal. Getting good sleep, talking with people about what's going on is really important. Doing things that are normal, going to work, going to the grocery store, playing with your children, all of that is really normal. So this center will help in the efforts to transition from the crisis that has been to a place where this community can find that new normal. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Donna Weish, who will talk more about what's happening in this building.
Thank you, Tara. It's been an amazing ride for us in this community. We are now opening this center of healing and hope. We know this is evolving for us. So that huge event that we had at the Camping World Stadium is now becoming a huge navigation point for us here. This is going to be, like I said, ever evolving. So when we start, we'll have folks in here that will be working with victims and families or anyone affected by this tragedy. We will have people here who will help folks navigate to the services that they need. So all of those providers that were at the Camping World Stadium, the families and victims of this tragedy are still a priority for them. That has not stopped because they're not in one location. This is becoming the virtual one-stop shop for this community, for our community. So what we'll have here to begin with, the Victim Services Center, Louis Damiani and his team will be here. They have committed to be here. They handle all the Victims of Crime Act funds, and they will continue to work with the Attorney General's office, who may well be on site with us. For a very short term, the Red Cross will be here with us. Tara will be here with us. The Red Cross will continue to be involved with us on a day-to-day basis. The FBI may still have advocates here for a short time. We will have an FBI advocate position that will always be in contact with us. The Attorney General's office may be here. Department of Justice is in town, and they are helping navigate some of those resources. There are so many people that have reached out to us and said, whatever we can do for you, we will do for you. That is obvious that we have seen from the county family that stepped up, the city family that stepped up, Disney, all those folks, AT&T. It's just like my mayor said. She said it very clearly. Without those people helping us, this could not have happened. So as we continue to evolve, these services will be available online through an intake form. People can come in, people can call, and we plan to have a very, very fluid and flexible system of care here. So as we move towards healing in our community, this will be open for a long time for people to access many, many services in our community. And we appreciate you being here, and we also would welcome you to come inside. And I wish we had a before and after, because we feel like we've been on a reality show in the last 48 hours of watching this transform into a storage area of a building. So we feel like the reason Orange County hasn't used this building is because our higher power made us wait for this. And so this is really a really transformational time for us. And we, again, welcome you to come in and visit with us. Thank you very much. Luis?
Well, before we open the doors for the tours, you will hear from Luis Martinez, Mayor Dyer's Hispanic Liaison, and Millie Irizarry, Mayor Jacobs' Hispanic Liaison.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
Estamos aquí para aquellos que han sido impactados por la tragedia y continuaremos aquí para ayudarlos. Hoy el municipio de Orlando se ha unido al condado Orange para darle apertura al Centro de Asistencia Orlando Unido. El centro es parte de nuestro compromiso a largo plazo para asistir a los afectados por la tragedia. Nuestra comunidad continúa recuperándose y vive un proceso de transición de la fase inmediata ante esta horrible tragedia. La apertura del Centro de Asistencia Orlando Unido está enfocada en las necesidades de recuperación de las víctimas a largo plazo, sus familias y todos los afectados. El Centro de Asistencia Orlando Unido representa la próxima fase de nuestro Centro de Asistencia Familiar, que durante 8 días de operaciones en el estadio Camping World ha asistido a 956 individuos y 298 familias. Nos dimos cuenta rápidamente que el centro de asistencia representaba una conexión importante entre las víctimas y los servicios que estos necesitan como parte de su recuperación. Muchas personas arribaron al centro pensando que solo necesitaban 1 o 2 servicios. Sin embargo, se retiraron del lugar con mucho más.
Una familia que visitó el centro sin pensar en los servicios que necesitaría, sin embargo, recibió apoyo de 17 agencias. En el nuevo Centro de Asistencia Orlando Unidos, navegadores continuarán enlazando a las víctimas con servicios. El centro es un lugar que brinda apoyo en un ambiente inclusivo y ofrece todos los servicios de manera confidencial.
Representantes con experiencia cultural de las comunidades hispanas y LGBTQ estarán prestando servicios. Alcaldesa Jacobs, alcalde Dyer, gracias por su colaboración y liderazgo. Gracias a los empleados del gobierno del condado Orange y del municipio de Orlando. Asimismo, agradecemos el equipo de trabajo de Disney por el trabajo incansable que todos han realizado en los pasados días para abrir este centro. También agradecemos a los comisionados de la ciudad de Orlando y del condado Orange por todo su apoyo durante este proceso. Juntos mantendremos a Orlando unido y continuaremos apoyando a aquellos que lo necesiten. Gracias.
We'll take a few questions if you would like, or you have the opportunity to tour the facility. And as Donna and Mayor Jacobs said, this was a storage unit about 48 hours ago, and it is a perfect facility now.
Mayor, can you give us an example of some of the
We can't go into that. Remember, I said that the services are confidential. I can tell you examples of some of the services that have been taken advantage of over the course of the last 10 days. It's everything from helping to get relatives here. So a number of the airlines have participated in giving free passage. I think over 200 tickets have been arranged, and then lodging for family members that are here. There's everything from transferring the title of a car that was parked at Pulse, that someone was deceased and their family is trying to recover the car. So that was the tax collector was doing that, issuing death certificates. Agencies came through and simply feeding people, providing places for individuals to stay. There were pet services. Is Kathy D here? Kathy D, would you come here for a minute? Kathy DeVault ran the Victims Assistance Center at Camping World, and I think she would be better prepared probably to talk about some of the other services. It's your moment to shine, Kathy D.
Good morning. I missed the question because I was answering another question in the back.
That were offered
At the Family Assistance Center at Camping World Stadium, it was unbelievable, the service providers that came together. Everything from consulate services. Last night I got an email from U.S. Customs and Border Protection that at 10 o'clock last night they were able to get visas for family members to come and visit their sister who is still in the hospital. And so they are on a flight this morning coming so that they can care for their sisters. We had vital statistics there expediting death certificates and death records so that families could get the much needed Social Security benefits that they so desperately needed on the spot. We were able to, with the support of some of our senators, both Senator Nelson and Senator Rubio, get visas issued same day for family members out of the country who needed to come here. And you know, the victims go much beyond those who were there that night. A woman who is 8 months pregnant, and the person who was going to watch her child for her for free is now deceased. And she needs to find immediate child care because she can't afford child care on her own. And so being able to connect her with child care services so that she doesn't have to worry about that when she goes into labor. We had hotels booked for family members both here in Puerto Rico for families who needed to go back home. We just saw an incredible amount of support. There were very few needs we were not able to meet there, and the reason we weren't able to meet those needs is because we didn't necessarily feel as though they were an immediate need. Let's get you through these first 7 days, and then we'll figure that out next. So the way that these 35 agencies came together to serve these individuals was unlike anything I've ever seen before. And our friends at the American Red Cross and the FBI both said that what they've seen in our community is unlike anything they've seen in any other city where they have served in a disaster like this or a crisis like this. So it's been absolutely incredible.
We will stay open as long as there is a need, and I anticipate that will not be measured in days or months. It'll be measured in years.
Mayor, can we get an update on the One Orlando Fund? We know what time before when disbursements might start?
We are going to make sure that we do it right and that we do it transparently. As Kathy DeVault just explained, and that's her name actually, is Kathy DeVault, not Kathy D, but we have so many Kathys on staff that they have to have additional things other than just Kathy. So I believe the last time I checked, there had been about $9 million that had been either contributed or had been pledged. As Kathy D explained, the immediate needs of the families were taken care of or are being taken care of through victims assistance. And one of the things we don't want to do is use the One Orlando funds to duplicate services or funds that are available through other means. So, for instance, the Attorney General's Victim Assistance Fund will pay for funeral expenses, and we have donated plots at Greenwood Cemetery, and actually a law firm is reimbursing us for that. We are going to give the money directly to the victims. Alex Martins is heading up a group of 11 individuals that make up the committee that's going to figure out how to go about accomplishing that. The gentleman that ran the New York Fund and the Boston Fund is consulting with us and assisting us in figuring out exactly how to do that. But that will be measured in days and not months in terms of being able to make those funds available.
And no criteria really been set yet on how that's.
No, we have not been able to formulate the criteria because our event is different than Boston and is different than New York, so it's not a cookie cutter that we can go pick off the shelf and say, okay, this is exactly how we're going to do it. But I can promise you this, we'll do it as transparently as we possibly can so that everybody will know what the criteria is and how we arrived at that criteria.
1 second. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, would you guys edit that, please?
Mayor, can you explain what the administrative structure would look like for the One Orlando Fund?
So when we started out, we thought the easiest thing to do was to simply give all of the funds to the Central Florida Foundation. Under their criteria, they can only give to not-for-profits. We changed direction because we became convinced immediately that the money needed to go directly to the families and to the victims. We were fortunate that the city had an existing not-for-profit called Strength in Orlando, called Strength in Orlando, so we didn't have to go about forming a not-for-profit. So we were able to accept the funds into Strength in Orlando. They are totally segregated from other funds that currently exist in Strength in Orlando. For instance, we did the CART program through Strength in Orlando. We did Paramore Kids Zone through Strength in Orlando. And I would advise any other city to have a not-for-profit ready for any crisis or emergency you might have, and that's a best practice. We're actually going to put together, the FBI has asked us to put together a kind of a crisis model, and we're going to be working on that in the coming months. Did I answer that pretty fully?
It's Strength in Orlando.
It's Strength in Orlando, and then the group that is headed up by Alex Martins will be the ones that administer that in consultation with the gentleman from the Boston Fund. There are 5 individuals that will be appointed by the charities, foundations that gave the large contributions, the $1 million and $500,000 million, and then there are 6 other, 2 that represent the LGBTQ community, 2 that represent the Latino community, and 2 that represent the philanthropic community.
And it was $9 million, right?
It's a little over $9 million. Has anybody got that number, Brooke or Chris? $9 million.
Is there any sort of timeline for distribution? Either roughly?
I would say you can measure it in days and not months. Weeks, perhaps. Okay, you want to tour the building? Let's open the doors. I feel like we ought to be cutting a ribbon or something.
This officially ends the broadcast. Thank you.